Hello everyone, welcome to Lower Back Basics. Today we're going to be covering some lower back exercises to start loosening up that lower back. And then we're going to start with the standing hamstring. So when you're doing the standing hamstring, what you want to find is something like a chair, something about knee high. Go ahead and bring that leg up nice and straight like Dr. Beth is doing here. And we always lean in with our chest and we hold for about 30 seconds. We're going to switch the legs up here. Notice how she leans in with her chest, keeping her head up. And throughout the stretch, you try and get a little deeper and deeper into the stretch. We're going to do that for all of our stretches. As you're going through the routine here, if anything seems to give you too much discomfort, just back off a little bit and let either myself or Dr. Beth know, and we'll be able to help you. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go into what's called a standing quadriceps stretch. So you're going to feel this stretch here on the front of your leg. And we do want to stabilize ourselves when we're doing this. You can see she's using her right arm. So grab a hold of something steady like a countertop or a chair, just to keep yourself from falling over. As you can see, she's just taking that heel and pulling it up towards her back end there until she feels a good stretch on the front of her thigh. Going to hold this for about at least a good 30 seconds. And then we'll switch up legs. Again, when we're stretching, we want to do a nice, smooth, steady movement. We don't want to do any bouncing or any repetitions. It's just a nice, steady pull, and we gradually increase the tension throughout the stretch. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go onto our knees. You could use a yoga mat or carpet for a little bit of padding on the knees. And we're going to do what's called a kneeling hip flexor stretch. So with this stretch, you can see Dr. Beth keeps her back nice and straight, keeps her head up. And with this stretch here, she's feeling this in the front of her left thigh. So her right foot is forward, and she can feel that stretch right down into her groin and into the front of her left thigh. Get a little different view here. We'll get out and we'll actually stretch the right side now. So she brings her left foot forward. And again, you can notice it's just slow, steady pressure as you sink into the stretch. We're not going to bob. We're not going to go up and down and do repetitions. And we're going to hold this for at least a good 30 seconds on each side. The next one we're going to do here is we're going to go over onto all fours. And we're going to do what's called the cat and camel. Obviously, this gets its name from its look. That would be the camel there. And that would be the cat. So same thing, we're bringing our belly button up towards the sky. We're tucking our chin to our chest. And now we're pushing our belly button down to the ground and extending our neck back. Feel a good stretch here. We'll do between 5 and 10 repetitions of cat and camel. You really should feel this kind of in your lower back and between your shoulder blades. And on that right there, which is the cat, you'll feel the good stretch in the abdomen too. Back and forth 5 to 10 times. Hold each one for about 2 or 3 seconds. And the next one we're going to go into is called child's pose. So for this, we go on all fours, and then we sit back onto our heels. And you'll notice Dr. Beth there, she kind of scoots her hands forward to get a deeper and deeper stretch. You should feel this all the way up and down your back, in your lower back, into your buttocks, and really kind of in the armpit area there as you stretch the back. Here's another view. We're going to do a little bit more, a little different child pose here. We're going to modify. We're going to have Dr. Beth go ahead and grab her wrist. So she's grabbing her left wrist with her right hand, and she's going to pull that left wrist towards center. And she's going to try and drive her left shoulder into the mat. And you'll definitely feel this stretching more down the kind of the trapezius, down the side of your back, and in the armpit area on the back of your shoulder. And we're going to do the other arm here. You can see how she kind of pulls that right arm towards center and then tries to push that right shoulder into the mat. just a modified child's pose. All right, now we're going to switch up and we're going to flip over on the mat and we're going to lay face up on the mat. We're going to lay on our backs. Now we're going to do what's called pelvic tilting. Now with pelvic tilting, you want to picture like you have a metal rod being pushed straight through your hips there and you're just rocking back and forth, holding each one about 3 seconds. So there she contracts her abdomen, picks her butt up off the table, and then pushes it down into the table. Picks it up off the table ever so slightly, and then pushes it back into the table. Back and forth 5 to 10 times. Next, we're going to do a knee to chest stretch. And all you do is simply keep the left leg straight and pull the right knee up towards your shoulder. Straight up into the air, into your chest. You should feel this stretching on the back of the leg into the buttocks, maybe a little bit into the lower back. And we're going to go ahead and switch legs, and we'll pull that left knee to chest just straight up. And we'll hold this stretch for at least a good 30 seconds. You know, you really can hold any stretch for as long as you feel like you need to until you get that really good stretching sensation in there. Usually a minimum of about 30 seconds is where you start to loosen up. We're going to switch up now. We're going to go from knee to chest. We're going to go to knee to shoulder. So in this, we pull the knee straight up to the chest, and then we pull it over to the opposite shoulder. This will help stretch a little bit more of the outside of the leg. You'll still feel it pull into the buttocks, and you'll feel it pull into the lower back a little bit. And we'll go ahead and switch up legs. Pull knee to chest, and then we pull it over to the opposite shoulder. Really try to put some pressure on the leg to pull it over and really feel that stretch down into the buttock region. And again, we'll hold this for a good 30-second count. The next one we're going to do here is Piriformis Stretch, and this is one of my favorite stretches. I think a lot of patients come in with piriformis tightness, so this one really helps out. We're going to go ahead and cross the leg over like we're sitting in a chair, and then we reach through, and then we reach around and pull that knee to the chest. So in this particular stretch here, Dr. Beth is feeling this in her right buttock region. We want to pull that left knee as tight to our chest as we can, really feeling that good stretch into the right hip. We're going to go ahead and switch up sides. Again, cross the leg over like you're sitting at a table, let it fall down. Bring that right leg up, grab behind the right knee, and pull that right knee to the chest. This is the stretch for the left piriformis. Again, a good 30-second minimum hold, or until you feel like you get a really good release. The last stretch we want to show you today is called the double knee to chest. Very simply, we're just going to take both of the knees, we're going to pull them up to the chest, and just give a nice little squeeze. Again, a 30-second hold. You should really feel this in your lower back, all the way down into the gluteal region. And that's it for lower basics.